to find out who was on board.
My blinds was closed, but it was a little bit open, so I kind of seen like some red flares. And a little bit after that, I just heard like a big ruckus that shook the house.
So officials say it's going to take some time to obviously get this runway clear off the debris as the investigation is ongoing to, why this all happened. Meantime, two of the other victims were also part of the NASCAR family, just reeling right now. Either way, less than a week out from Christmas, and
All right, News Nation's Xavier Walton. A lot of questions around this one as well. We'll come back to you, and please continue trying to talk to folks there and see how they're feeling about everything. Xavier, thank you.
Best Reviews is an unbiased team that researches products in real-world situations to give reliable recommendations on just about everything. For the best reviews, go to bestreviews.com. Seriously, before you buy anything.
News Nation is taking you back in time this Christmas Eve. Back to the first Black Friday. Decking the halls of the decade of decadence. A very 80s Christmas. Christmas Eve at 8, 7 Central on News Nation.
Be right there. Use the shovel and bucket of water, remember? Drown, stir, drown, feel. Then make sure it's cool.
Where'd you learn that?
SmokeyBear.com. Brushed up on some tips before we left. Don't want to start a wildfire, right?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us. That's why we don't have time to be.
We don't have time for spills.
Next.
We don't have time for setbacks. Let's be real.
Getting the flu shot
helps you fight the flu.
Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you, too.
Even the mighty might not see it coming. It's prediabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. But you can escape. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test to know where you stand and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Be your own hero on smartphones everywhere at doihaveprediabetes.org.
The bravest person I know is my daughter, Cynthia.
My friend Sean, and he was in the Air Force.
One of the bravest things he ever did wasn't when he first enlisted, it was when he found his first support group.
It was when he asked to move in with me and my mom.
I felt like I was lost, and you gave me a place to stay.
She went on foreign soil. She went to war. But the bravest thing she did is when she asked for help.
Love the hustle, Cliff. Who are you?
Your lungs.
We're quite proud of you.
Even though you quit smoking years ago, you may be at risk for lung cancer.
Okay. Well, with the routine screening, you can detect it early when it's more curable.
Sounds good, guys. Can I get a little space here?
Biologically, no.
Okay.
Listen to your lungs. Get a routine screening that could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savebythescan.org.
We do begin with breaking news at this hour. The search for a killer.
There I was, 16, divorced, remarried with a baby, another on the way, and I could barely read or write. Getting my high school diploma was a catalyst I needed. Now I have a bachelor's and master's, and I became a teacher. When I look at all these success stories, I could not help but think it all started by getting my high school diploma.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
This is Ozarks First News, Midday.
Thanks for joining us here at Midday. I'm Jesse Inman. Plans are moving forward with a new feature in downtown Springfield that will honor an important part of local and national history. The birthplace of Route 66 Plaza is. This comes after City Council approved a donation of land from Missouri State University for the feature earlier this month. The site, located off Jefferson Avenue, Park Central East, is currently a Missouri State University parking lot. The city says the plaza will be built by the Rotary Club and is expected to be done in time for the Route 66 Centennial Celebration in April. Here on our Friday, let's get a first look at our weather here in the Ozarks. A live look here in Quapaw, Oklahoma, over Downstream Casino Resort. That's near Joplin. Things are going to feel okay out there, but we're just going to warm up even more as we march toward Christmas. Here's meteorologist Tom Schmidt.
Oh, yeah, warm up in a big, big way. Now, today we're going to be about 50 degrees. Clear skies this morning with a good-looking sunrise out there. We've had a few upper-level clouds blow through at the midday hour. Generally, though, skies are going to be mostly sunny to partly cloudy. And again, temperatures about 50. And here's great news. Not going to see any of those 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts like we had yesterday. None of that today. There's your upper-level clouds, but still mostly sunny skies from the Springfield Tower camera right now. On the chillier side, you can see the warmer air down to the southwest. We got a strong southwest wind that's going to clean out that cool air. Still freezing at Rolla, 32 degrees there, 36 in Springfield, 44 in Fayetteville. So warmer gradient from northeast to south and west. Southwest winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, not nearly as windy as it was yesterday. It could be a little breezy at times this afternoon, maybe around 20 miles an hour at most. We'll take that, though. Temperatures, again, near 50 for today. We'll be in the 60s for Saturday. Sunday's like today, and then, yeah, like Jesse was saying, going to get warm and even a little humid come Christmas time. Might feel more like April. We'll take a look at that forecast coming up.
All right, Tom, thanks. As a way to build a stronger relationship with the community, Springfield Police Chief Paul Williams sits down with the public every month during his Coffee with the Chief events. Every month, Chief Williams chooses a different coffee shop to go to and invites the public to have a conversation with he and the other officers. Ozarks First Crews went to one hosted this week at the Daily Blend, where Chief Williams says relationships are built one person at a time.
Sometimes it's complaints, sometimes it's compliments, sometimes it's just, hey, I wanted to meet you. So it's been really good. It's really positive, I think, in the community.
Now, these sit-downs initially started 15 years ago when Chief Williams first came to Springfield. He says sometimes very few, but sometimes there are entire crowds. This was the first time the Daily Blend hosted Coffee with the Chief, but operating partner Steve Belden says he would do it again.
Our vision when we opened the Daily Blend was to provide a space for healthy conversations, for people in the community to come in, hang out, talk, have a great cup of coffee. So this really fits into, what our goal was.
The next Coffee with the Chief will be next month, January 15th, 7 to 8:30 a.m. at the Panera on North Kansas Expressway. If you can't make it to one of those, Chief Williams says you can leave a message on the department's social media pages or send him an email. We have links to both of those options in this story on OzarksFirst.com. The Saturday before Christmas, often called Super Saturday, and this year it's expected to be one of the busiest shopping days of the season. The National Retail Federation says almost 160 million consumers are expected to shop for last-minute gifts across the country tomorrow. Small businesses in Springfield say this holiday season is bringing in a lot of shoppers looking for unique and meaningful gifts.
We are trying to create experience here and meaningful experience. With our jewelry, they're one of a kind. People have to come here for our special, unique gifts that they can't get on Amazon.
To several businesses who tell us they're stocking up ahead of Super Saturday with some planning for special deals to celebrate. Get ready to cast your vote. Question of the day, we're asking, have you finished your Christmas shopping? Yes, almost done, or not even close? I regret to inform you which category I fall into. OzarksFirst.com/vote. Let us know what you think. We'll talk about it at the end of the show. If you're getting ready to drive for the Christmas holiday, listen up. AAA expects holiday travel to be a real challenge this year. More than 122 million Americans will travel during the weeks of Christmas and New Year's Eve. Nearly 90% will drive. AAA says one of the best times to hit the road is this Saturday after 9 p.m. and next Tuesday before 10 a.m. As for the worst times to drive, this Saturday from noon to 8 p.m. and next Tuesday from 1 to 7 p.m. Ozarks First is excited to launch our new streaming app. It's called Ozarks First Plus, and it's free to download on your smart TV. It's home to additional news coverage and extended feature interviews. We've also launched 6 new streaming shows hosted by numerous Ozarks First personalities. Ozarks First Plus, available to download for free on Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, and Roku. Coming up, a post on Reddit helps break a multi-state murder investigation. How authorities say they tracked down the man accused of killing 2 students at Brown University and an MIT professor. And as we head to break, a live look outside at Table Rock Lake. It looks nice out there. Warm weather this time of year for us. Santa going to need to maybe shed a layer or two as he makes his big trip next week. Tom will lay out what we're looking like for the week of Christmas coming up.
This is Ozarks First News, Midday, with Jesse Inman and meteorologist Tom Schmidt.
Life's daily battles are not meant to be fought alone.
Cloud, you okay?
Because checking can create a safe space. Reach out to a friend about their mental health. This is awkward. It's totally worth it.
There are a lot of temptations facing young people today, like electronic cigarettes and skateboarding. Each pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes. This can lead today's youth to a lifelong addiction and severe lung damage. Recall and consider the facts before making a poor decision.
The health class film guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
Be right there. Wait. Use the shovel and bucket of water, remember? Drown, stir, drown, feel. Then make sure it's cool.
Where'd you learn that?
SmokeyBear.com. Brushed up on some tips before we left. Don't want to start a wildfire, right?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
My opponent is completely disregarding almost half of my arguments which I responded to.
Communities must step up.
Laws
and
alone
protest
cannot
against this
stop the
normalizing.
bullying.
Well, I completely disagree.
Point of inquiry, do you guys even realize that the #1 killer of children and teens are gun injuries?
You're probably starting to realize now, this is not a debate.
There is no adult in this earth that wants children to die.
I worry for my kids.
Love the hustle, Cliff. Who are you?
Your lungs.
We're quite proud of you.
Even though you quit smoking years ago, you may be at risk for lung cancer.
Okay. Well, with the routine screening, you can detect it early when it's more curable.
Sounds good, guys. Can I get a little space here?
Biologically, no.
Okay.
Listen to your lungs. Get a routine screening that could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savebythescan.org.
The search for the suspect in last weekend's deadly shooting at Brown University is over. Police say the alleged gunman was found dead in a New Hampshire rental storage unit of an apparent suicide. Investigators believe the 48-year-old suspect was also responsible for the shooting death of an MIT professor earlier this week. Jared Hill has the latest from New York.
Ending a multi-state murder manhunt. Overnight, authorities closed on a storage facility in Salem, New Hampshire. The Brown University gunman and suspected killer of an MIT professor found inside a storage unit, dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
He was sophisticated in hiding his tracks.
The alleged shooter, identified as Claudio Manuel Neves Valente, a 48-year-old Portuguese national living in the U.S. legally. Brown says he was a physics PhD student at the university between 2000 and 2003 before he dropped out. School officials say he likely took classes in the same building where he allegedly opened fire last Saturday, killing 2 students and injuring 9 others. Police say he's also Professor Nuno Loureiro Monday night.
This was always going to be an investigation where something was going to break it open.
The key to breaking the case, according to a police affidavit, was interviewing an anonymous Reddit poster. 3 days ago, the person described seeing the suspect was on Central. Investigators tracked the car to a rental company in Boston where the suspect used his real name on the application. Authorities also discovered the suspect's storage unit in Salem, where his body was found. Jared Hill, CBS News.
The Missouri GOP is backing Governor Maggie's plan to eliminate state income tax. The Missouri Republican Party announcing their endorsement for Kehoe's plan this week in a press release. Chairman Peter Kinder says it's a long time coming. The motion received unanimous support from their executive committee. Kehoe intends to release a plan in early 2026, and that will be decided by voters. Coming up, the holidays can be tough for people struggling with grief. We are highlighting an organization that helps people right here in the Ozarks get help at an affordable price. And here's Tom with a peek at our forecast.
Good looking day out there right now from Beaver Lake. Skies are mostly sunny. It's going to be a little warmer today, too. 40s now across northern Arkansas. Still in the 30s here in Springfield. We'll warm up again for the afternoon a little bit. Warmer day Saturday, and then, guys, we're talking about possible record warmth on Christmas Day. Take a look at that forecast next.
Be right there. Wait. Use the shovel and bucket of water, remember? Drown, stir, drown, feel. Then make sure it's cool.
Where'd you learn that?
SmokeyBear.com. Brushed up on some tips before we left. Don't want to start a wildfire.
Only you prevent wildfires.
Best Reviews is an unbiased team that researches products in real-world situations to give reliable recommendations on just about everything.
Call that a plasma sword?
For the best reviews, go to bestreviews.com. Seriously, before you buy anything, ever.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us. That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu.
We don't have time for delays.
We don't have time for spills.
Next. We don't have time for setbacks. Let's be real.
Getting the flu shot
helps you fight the flu.
Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you, too.
Life's daily battles are not meant to be fought alone.
Cloud, you okay?
Because checking in on a friend can create a safe space. Reach out to a friend about their mental health. Seize the awkward. It's totally worth it.
There are a lot of temptations facing young people today, like electronic cigarettes and skateboarding. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes. It can lead today's youth to a lifelong addiction and severe lung damage. Recall and consider the facts before making a poor decision.
The health class film guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
Achieving my goals as an adult was challenging without a high school diploma. With the help of an adult education center, I finished my high school diploma and it changed my life.
This yearbook is a testament to your accomplishments and how they have impacted all of us.
Getting my high school diploma made me feel like I can do anything. Now I can help the kids in my community achieve their dreams.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
Even the mighty might not see it coming. It's prediabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. But you can escape. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test to know where you stand and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Be a hero on smartphones everywhere at doihaveprediabetes.org.
All right, folks, look at the Springfield Square camera right now. We've got mostly sunny skies. A few upper-level clouds have blown through the area at the midday hour on this Friday. Overall, it's going to be a good day for us out there. It's a little chilly now, 36 in Springfield still. Warmer air, though, coming in from the south and west. 44 Fayetteville, 42 Harrison, 39 in Joplin. We'll be in the 40s to near 50 today in Springfield. It'll be warming up nicely. 32 degrees now in Rolla. Cooler today to the north and east. We got a southwest wind right now about 10 miles an hour. Could be a little breezier once we get into the afternoon hours today, and that'll help warm us up a little bit from where we are now. Satellite and radar shows, yes, some upper level cloudiness down across the southwest, full sunshine across the north and east. And again, these aren't full clouds. It's just kind of very thin, wispy clouds. That's what we're dealing with for now. That windbag of a storm system from yesterday with the rain had 0.05 of an inch yesterday in Springfield. Not very much, but that system is way off to the east coast, running and gunning. A little bit of snow across upstate New York, Pennsylvania, but it's on its way out. And the warmer air moving in today and tomorrow. Winds today, again, not as strong as yesterday, but could be a little gusty at times, over 20 miles per hour. And 20 miles an hour sounds like, we'll take that, 50 or 60 like we had yesterday, so 20 is just fine. Saturday and Sunday look good, 60 degrees for tomorrow. Mild, a little breezy Saturday. Some clouds roll in late in the day with the cold front. That cold front late in the day Saturday, putting us down to near freezing Saturday night. And Sunday will be a little cooler, but still above normal in the low 50s. Mele Kalikimaka, get used to it. That's where Christmas is going to feel like in the Ozarks this year. Gulf moisture moves in. Mild weather, we're talking very mild. 20 to 25 degrees warmer than normal in the 70s, both Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Right now, yeah, warm Christmas, no doubt there. 72 degrees on Christmas Eve. A few clouds for the morning, some sun in the afternoon. Christmas Day, 74. That would tie the record warmest set back in 1889. So it's been a while, but I think we will be matching that record, I think, pretty easily. Even if we get to 73, that would only be the third time in Springfield history to have 70s on Christmas Day. The top 10 readings right there going back since 1888. Today, 50 degrees and sunny, generally. Tonight, upper 30s, low 40s, not bad. Tomorrow, 60 degrees. Cold front does blow through in the afternoon. We're still warm, though. We'll get colder, though, tomorrow night, about 32 degrees. Sunday, 51, a few clouds, some sun, a touch cooler there. Monday, 56 degrees. Tuesday, boosting those temperatures up, 60s near 70s, and it's going to feel like April with some humidity in the air, too, especially for Wednesday and Thursday. Jesse?
All right, Tom, thanks. Finding therapy services at a reasonable cost can be tough. And for this week's Surfing the Ozarks, Angela Luna sat down with Betty and Bobby Allison Counseling Services on how they're providing affordable services for those struggling with their mental health.
The holidays can be a tough time for many people, especially those who struggle with grief.
There's a lot going on, a lot of reminders about family and loved ones maybe that are gone, nostalgia, for them can't quite get back, difficult relationships. All of those are reasons that people might come and want to talk and get some help.
Betty and Bobby Allison Counseling Services have been providing services for individuals struggling with their mental health for over 60 years. Children, families, and adults of all ages are welcome. Executive Director Andrea Bishop says it's rewarding to see people to take the step to get help in order to heal.
It is such meaningful work to see people come in, sometimes at the lowest point in their life. Often we have people who are struggling with suicidal ideation, and to see them grasp onto the hope that we have to offer, that things can change for them and that they can affect that change in their own lives. See them notice patterns, get coping skills, tools, be heard, and then eventually graduate and live life to the fullest of their going forward.
If you or someone you know is struggling, it is easy to get signed up to receive care. Chief Administration Officer Kayla Brock-Reitens takes the time to match each patient with the right counselor.
Our scheduling team will reach out to you because in that form you'll fill out what you're looking for, what kind of services, a little bit about yourself. You'll give us your financial information so that we can find an affordable way for you to get on our schedule and meet with a therapist.
Reporting in Springfield, Ozarks First.
And now, Serving the Ozarks, sponsored by NAV Restoration and Roofing and by Patriot Heating.
The bravest person I know is my daughter, Cynthia.
My friend Sean, and he was in the Air Force.
One of the bravest things he ever did wasn't when he first enlisted, it was when he found his first support group.
It was when he asked to move in with me and my mom.
I felt like I was lost, and you gave me a place to stay.
She went on foreign soil. She went to war. But the bravest thing she did is when she asked for help.
There are a lot of temptations facing young people today, like electronic cigarettes and skateboarding. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes. This can lead today's youth to a lifelong addiction and severe lung damage. Recall and consider the facts before making a poor decision.
The health class film guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
News Nation is taking you back in time this Christmas Eve. Back to the first Black Friday. Decking the halls of the decade of decadence. A very 80s Christmas. Christmas Eve at 8, 7 Central on News Nation.
Achieving my goals as an adult was challenging without a high school diploma. With the help of an adult education center, I finished my high school diploma and it changed my life.
This yearbook is a testament to your accomplishments and how they have impacted all of us.
Getting my high school diploma made me feel like I can do anything. Now I can help the kids in my community achieve their dreams.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
All righty, folks, we're joined now by the cutest guest ever on this Friday. And of course, it's also Mackenzie Palmer. But, you know, who cares about you, Mackenzie? We got this puppy here now.
Right, yeah.
Can't forget Fist Bump Friday real quick. Welcome back from the Humane Society of Southwestern Missouri. Our good friend, Mackenzie Palmer, and our best friend now,
Yes.
Cindy Lou.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
It's a sweet Cindy Lou. She came to us, unfortunately, as part of an unwanted litter of pups. So there's actually 3 of them out at the Humane Society right now.
Found your microphone.
Oh, yes. She is a 2-month-old pitty mix. So she is so loving and sweet, but at this age, as you know, they need lots of love and care.
Oh, yeah.
I brought her specifically. Oh, she found the blanket. I brought your little toy. Here you go. But I brought her specifically as the fact that, you know, as these puppies do need homes, they are not Christmas gifts. You know,
Yeah,
they
right.
are loving, living beings that will be by your side, you know, 24/7, long after the magical holiday season has worn off. So that's just something to definitely keep in mind as you're, you know, searching for a new friend this holiday season, or at any time that they're, you know, 10 to 15-year commitment, especially starting from this young age, and they need lots of love and care and will be by your side. But if you're willing to take that on, you know, Cindy Lou here would love to meet you. You can stop by the shelter to fill out an application and meet her yourself.
I'm sure a lot of folks would love to meet Cindy Lou, too.
Yes.
Great deal.
Yes.
Okay, do you guys have any events coming up soon?
We do. We actually have our monthly low-cost vaccination and microchip clinic tomorrow out at the Humane Society. So that'll be from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. if you're in need of any low-cost vaccines or microchip. Protect your pets this season. And more information is on our website, swh.org. But that is first come, first serve. So.
All right, good to know. And any kind of specials or things coming up for Christmas time next week or any holiday deals?
Not next week, no, but you may see a familiar special coming back around later on near the new year. So stay tuned for that. But at the moment, we don't have anything currently. We do have stuff with stocking that's going on, but we got all of the ornaments taken off our tree. So we're doing that, which is awesome.
Well done.
And more information about that is on our Facebook and Instagram, too. If
That's
you wanna
awesome.
join in.
All right, thank you, kids, for being here, and thank you, Cindy Lou, for being so great. Go check him out at Humane Society of Southwestern Missouri, and the website, swh.org. We'll be back with Midday after this.
Love the hustle, Cliff. Who are you?
Your lungs.
We're quite proud of you.
Even though you quit smoking years ago, you may be at risk for lung cancer.
Okay. Well, with the routine screening, you can detect it early when it's more curable.
Sounds good, guys. Can I get a little space here?
Biologically, no.
Okay.
Listen to your lungs. Get a routine screening that could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
News Nation is taking you back in time this Christmas Eve. Back to the first Black Friday. Decking the halls of the decade of decadence. A very 80s Christmas. Christmas Eve at 8, 7 Central on News Nation. Oh,
Uh-huh.
Elmer loves to giggle. Elmer's mommy taught him that laughing can help when you have a big feeling, like when you feel happy. Make sure to celebrate when you're happy and laugh it out.
There are a lot of temptations facing young people today, like electronic cigarettes and skateboarding. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes. This can lead today's youth to a lifelong addiction and severe lung damage. Recall and consider the facts before making a decision.
The health class film guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
My opponent is completely disregarding almost half of my arguments which I responded to.
Communities must step up.
Laws
and
alone
protest
cannot
against this
stop a
normalizing.
bully.
Well, I completely disagree. Point of inquiry, do you guys even realize that the #1 killer of children and teens are gun injuries?
You're probably starting to realize now, this is not a debate.
There is no adult in this earth that wants children to die.
I worry for my kids.
Even the mighty might not see it coming. Diabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. But you can escape. Take the 1-minute pre-diabetes risk test to know where you stand and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Be your own hero on smartphones everywhere at prediabetes.org.
Be right there. Wait. Use the shovel and bucket of water, remember? Drown, stir, drown, feel. Then make sure it's cool.
Where'd you learn that?
SmokeyBear.com. Brushed up on some tips before we left. Don't want to start a wildfire, right?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
The bravest person I know is my daughter, Cynthia.
My friend Sean, and he was in the Air Force.
One of the bravest things he ever did wasn't when he first enlisted, it was when he found his first support group.
It was when he asked to move in with me and my mom.
I felt like I was lost, and you gave me a place to stay.
She went on foreign soil. She went to war. But the bravest thing she did is when she asked for help.
All right, welcome back. Now, your responses to today's question of the day. We asked you about Christmas shopping. Have you finished it up? 52% of you are on the ball, saying yes, you have. And the rest of you, well, okay. You got some time. Big weekend for you this weekend. Tom, where are you at on this?
Almost done. I've got maybe, I think, 3 more I need to buy.
I'm not even close myself, so haven't started. How about that? A little procrastination. We get busy around here.
Yeah, sure do. Yeah, that's right.
Things get busy. Good weekend weather for us. It's going to feel almost like spring, I guess.
Yeah, Saturday night's about 60 degrees, and then looking ahead to Christmas, it's really going to feel like spring. A little humid, too. Temperature
Sure will.
70.
Tank top for Santa when he's making his big trip. We will see you right back here at 5. Thanks for watching.
The bravest person I know is my daughter, Cynthia.
My friend Sean, and he was in the Air Force.
One of the bravest things he ever did wasn't when he first enlisted, it was when he found his first support group.
It was when he asked to move in with me and my mom.
I felt like I was lost, and you gave me a place to stay.
She went on foreign soil. She went to war. But the bravest thing she did is when she asked for help.
When parents split up, the question that is top of mind is, are the kids going to be okay? The answer is yes, with collaborative co-parenting. The woman who literally wrote the book on the topic is our guest today, right now on Maggie and the Moms.
It's time for Maggie and the Moms.
General Hospital. It's not separation that breaks a child. It's conflict, silence, adults who can't regulate under pressure. Those are the wise words of our guest today, Gabriella Pomari. She is a lawyer. She is a mother of two. She is the author of the book, The Collaborative Co-Parent, where she blends her legal expertise and her lived experience to help other parents dealing with the many issues that come with co-parenting. And we're so happy to meet and welcome Gabriella all the way from Sydney, Australia. Thank you for waking up so early to chat with us, Gabriella.
Thank you for having me. It's such an important discussion, so I'm really glad we're doing it today.
I couldn't agree more. And there's so much to cover. I think a good place to start is a question that I'm sure is one that you grappled with, and it is not an easy thing. When a relationship is not working out, you often hear people say, oh, but you got to stay in it for the kids. The guilt, am I ruining my kid's life if I separate from their father or their mother? How do you tackle that?
Absolutely. And I think it's also to do these days with the stigma of society, right? So many people I speak to or I work with say, I can't do it. I can't leave because my child will think they're now coming from, a broken family. And I don't believe that notion exists. I hate hearing the term broken family. My view is when you're in a relationship, a marriage, and it's not working, the reality is it's time to move forward so that you can actually give your children more stability. And that might not make sense. You think I'm ripping them apart, they're going to be living in two homes. But if they're living in a home where there is constant conflict, or where they don't see love and affection between mum and dad, I think going between two happy homes will ultimately be, better for them. And that was something I certainly had to think about. My son was only almost one at the time, so he was very young and we were fresh parents and I didn't know if I was doing the right thing. But in my head, I said, I want him to grow up in a happy home, conflict free, where his parents aren't arguing, where they love each other, sadly as it was. And I think 5 years later, it's been better for him because to me, I see him as a really well-adjusted boy who goes between mum and dad's home, and we do it happily as we can for him.
How do you do it? When you make that decision, which from everything you said sounds like it's the absolute best thing for the child and for everybody else involved as well. Once you make that decision, figuring things out is probably tricky. So the issue of getting the child help settling between those two homes, how did you handle that?
Yeah, look, I think it's a difficult one to start off with, particularly when you first end a relationship because you're still grieving. There are still a lot of unknowns. And so at that point, be hard what I call co-parent or to get on with your ex. But I think the reality is you need to keep at the forefront of your mind what's going to be best for my child right now. So I need to put aside that grief, that conflict, the emotion, and say, what arrangements do we need to start making? Let's look at our two homes. Let's try and put in place similar enough routines. I think one of the biggest misconceptions is that kids struggle because homes are different, but that's not normally the issue. I think kids really struggle when things feel unpredictable, unknown, unstable. They don't know what's going on. I remember I worked with a parent once whose child would melt down every time they got after changeover. They would come home, and my son did the same thing for about a year after he turned two, just big tantrums the minute he'd come to my house. He wanted his dad. So what I had to do was just change the schedule. So every Sunday night when he came home, same routine. We had the same dinner, we'd watch a movie together, we'd spend that quality one-on-one time, and I think that helped to regulate him. So between those two houses, if you can try and keep things similar and keep reminding and reassuring your child, it's okay. We feel you, we hear you, we love you. Things are hard, but we're going to try and do things together to make it easier for you. I think they feel protected and a bit safer.
Yeah, for sure. So, but that's where the collaboration comes in because you have, right? You have to work together now for the sake of your child with this person that you just, don't want to be with anymore. How do you even begin that?
No, yeah, and that's not easy. And I often talk about it as being a bit of a journey. And I can tell you, even from my personal experience, it didn't happen day one. I think that first year was incredibly challenging because it's true. I mean, this is a person who you thought you were going to spend, your whole life with. You imagined a family and holidays and Christmases, and I know this time of year it's even harder. But I think that as that journey starts, as you start to process your separation, your divorce, you work on yourself, and you allow your time, self-time to heal and to grieve, I think that's when you start saying, okay, I really need to put things in place now to do this better for my kid. And a lot of social science tells us how a child experiences their parents' divorce, that will shape them into the future. You know, their adult relationships, their marriages, how they interact, how they parent. And I think if as a parent you can remember that, you've put away some of the emotion. Too many, adults say, oh, we can't communicate. They'll say to me, Gabriella, we can't co-parent. It's not going to happen. We're too high conflict. And I say, no, it's just that you can't communicate without the emotion,
Right.
without that anger. And I get it, but with time and with the right tools and whether it's with a family therapist or a mediator, reading my book, so many different tools. I think that's when you start saying, I need to actually implement them to help my kid communicate a little bit better, pause, take the emotion out of it so that they're protected and they have a better experience of this separation.
As you've mentioned, though, it takes time. That first year for you wasn't easy. I'm sure that's going to be the same for almost everybody in this situation. What is something that you would like to share with other parents that was crucial, or that in hindsight would have been crucial in that first year, in those early days when this is so hard?
Yeah, I think realistically, when I look back, slowing down. I think slowing down and saying it's not all about me. And a lot of parents don't realize that they're caught up in that, how is this benefiting me? I don't feel good. I'm angered by the text message I'm getting from my ex, or he or she is being difficult. We can't agree. So now when I look back, I say, take yourself out of it. Forget you, sadly, as the parent. Is this good for my child? Right? And I think what you really need to start saying when you talk to your ex is, I can hear you, I get you, because I talk a lot about communication, because I genuinely think that is the most important part of any co-parenting relationship, any relationship generally, right? And I think once you start immediately jumping in, aggressively wanting to text back, call back angrily, sending that email that's a bit nasty, my biggest advice is stop. Just stop and pause. And this pause is huge, where you say, I'm actually hearing you. I think what you're saying, but I get you. And that's where I think everything changes and everything shifts, because that's where I think the emotion could be removed. And you say, all right, forget all the things he's done or she's done. Let's actually look at what the decision is right now. I don't know, you might want to take your child on a holiday, or I don't know, the mother might want to change the schedule for the week if something else is on. But rather than saying, oh, you always do this, or, there's been a year worth of you not showing up and being inconsistent, just say, for this week, will it make my child's life easier if they're not going to be put in the middle of conflict this week? And I always say, what would your child think if they pulled up your phone, they started reading the text messages between their parents? Would they be happy? Would they be proud of you? So when you're writing that message, say, if my kid was reading this, I think they would be proud, because mum and dad are trying to get on for my sake.
That is what every day when I go about making my decisions, that's the question I ask myself. Would this make my child proud? I love that. That is a great thing for any mom in any situation to keep in mind. We're going to dive into the communication aspect of it, which I know is a big part of your book, and talk about also how we take care of ourselves when things get hard, right after this quick break.
Even the mighty might not see it coming. It's prediabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. But you can escape. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test to know where you stand and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Be your own hero on smartphones everywhere at doihaveprediabetes.org.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us. That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu.
We don't have time for delays.
We don't have time. We don't have time for setbacks. Let's be real.
Getting the flu shot
helps you fight the flu. Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you too.
Life's daily battles are not meant to be fought alone.
Cloud, you okay?
Because checking in on a friend can create a safe space. Reach out to a friend about their mental health. Seize the awkward. It's
help when you have a big feeling, like when you feel happy. Make sure to celebrate when you're happy and laugh it out. Love your mind.
It was 5 years ago that Gabriella Pomari decided to end a relationship. She had one child and now she had to co-parent. How did she do it? Well, she figured out that collaboration was the secret, and now she has written a book, 18 months worth of work. You know what? I appreciate that you put your whole heart and soul experience as well as your professional expertise into this book, because that means that it will be a tool that everybody can benefit from. Before we talk a little bit about the communication aspect of it, which you mentioned in our last segment is key, legally, because you're a lawyer, how did you incorporate that aspect of it in the book?
To be completely honest, I tried not to, because I find a lot of people, once they start going to family lawyers, divorce attorneys, they almost become more high conflict. And I know that says a lot about my job, but it's the reality of it. You're coming to us when you are a bit more high conflict and you're in a battle. You might be in litigation in court. So I said, okay, I need to give parents those practical strategies that a lawyer might. But the reality is, when I separated myself, I remember waking up saying, I actually don't know what to do. It's not about the law. It's not
And
about
you
a
were a
judge
lawyer
telling me.
and you didn't know what to do.
That's it. No, because I said, I don't want to end up a judge. I don't want them to tell me how I should parent my 1-year-old. And a lot of what the case law says is, particularly with a 1-year-old, well, stay with mum. And I said, no, I need my son to have a relationship with his dad. He's still young. They need to form that bond while they're still young. Now, he was a safe dad, a good dad. It's obviously different situations.
Sure.
There's family violence. I get that. But what I said was, we need to start co-parenting well from a young age so their relationship forms. And we started doing an equal time relationship from when he was literally 1, and it worked well. So I said, forget the legal jargon. I'm going to write a book that gives people that real practical advice from the minute they wake up and they say, what on earth do I do? How do I tell people? Which is often, the hardest part. You've got almost this embarrassment where you're saying, oh, how do I tell my friends, my family, the teachers at school, the doctors? And it really takes you on that journey right from that point.
How do you tell people?
It's a journey in itself. I think the reality is you just need to sit down and be honest, right? Get rid of this idea of the stigma and what are people going to think. Who cares what people think? You've made the best decision for your life, and there's obviously a reason for it. You deserve to be happier and healthier. Your mental health needs to obviously get better. So there are so many parts to it where I say you organize appointments with the leaders. They're probably the most important ones, I say, because your children, if they are of a school age, preschool, high school, whatever it might be, they need to be supported as the number one. So by organizing those appointments with their schools know what to look out for. What are the signs? Are they concentrating? Are they suffering? Are they feeling lonely? Are they withdrawing from class? So then they can put in place those tool to help children. And then obviously the friends is a hard one. I know a lot of people lose a lot of friends following a divorce, and it might be you've got joint friends who pick sides, and that's unfortunate. So it's important from being upfront where you say, don't pick sides. We're happy to both be friends with you. And that was hard for me. We were together a really long time, even from high school.
Oh, wow.
And so we had completely joint friends. And a lot of them said, oh, do we hang out with him or with her or both? And these days we've kept some really close ones, and we separately hang out. If there's a birthday party, we're both out, so be it. We get on as best as we can for our son, who will be there and see it all.
But you're going to have conflict. I mean, obviously there was conflict in the relationship, and you're not going to agree on everything when it comes to parenting. So how do you disagree without damaging the child?
Yeah, and look, I still have that today. There are certainly days I'll get a message. It happened to us recently. We were trying to negotiate the forthcoming Christmas holidays, and we don't normally alternate. And I said, no, I don't agree. I want him Christmas Eve. And I stepped back and said, what am I doing? Again, is it about me or is it about my son? And do I need to be arguing about this issue? So I think the reality is conflict is healthy. You need to be able to engage in debate and discussion, and you can't always be giving in either. That's not fair to yourself. The most important thing is that you take that conflict away from your children. Do not argue in front of the children. And a lot of parents say to me, oh, but we don't argue in front of the kids. And I believe them. But it's important for everyone to remember that children don't need to witness conflict to really be a part of it or be impacted by it. They're really in tune with parents' emotional shifts. So when you go to a changeover, I'm telling you, they can see your tone when it changes. They see your body language, you know, those eye rolls, you're shaking, you're angry, you're working yourself up in the car. They see that.
Why is that
so
bad?
You really need...
I mean, I know it seems like a silly question.
Yeah, because they're in tune to that and they start thinking, does mum or dad dislike each other so much? And if you dislike my mum or my dad so much, they're a part of me. I mean, I'm 50% of the kid. And dad. So if you hate dad, you kind of hate a part of me. Or they start to feel guilty and they say, I won't talk about time at mum or dad's house because I know it's going to upset my other parent. I'm really going to withdraw. I'm going to hide things. And I won't let myself be happy with that other parent because it will start to upset my other parent. So that's why I say you really need to try and remove all those signs, that body language, that anger or upset away from your child. And it's healthy to have emotion. You need to. You need to cry. You need to be angry. You need to let it out. But ring a girlfriend, ring a sister, a brother away from your child.
What are some issues, and I know that every relationship is different, right? But what are some issues that you think are typical that arise when people split up and they have to co-parent?
Look, money and finances will always be, I think, the biggest issue people argue about. And I think that's inevitable. They're going to happen. And all you can do is try and have the healthiest of discussions about that. And again, make it not necessarily about you, but whoever the parent is. And when you're dividing up your assets, try and think about how can both of us be helped and be able to give our child financial security and, you know, longevity in terms of where they're living and child support. That's always going to be an argument. Outside of that, I think, you know, when step parents get involved, people repartner, that's a really touchy subject. And I often find with clients I work with, especially, they're getting on really well after they separate, they're co-parenting well, and then someone meets someone and they start that relationship and the arguments start. No, I don't want you introducing your new boyfriend or girlfriend. Or if they then move in together, no, I don't want my child a part of that. I need to come in and see. And
How
that's
much
really
say
hard because
does the ex have in that kind of stuff?
I guess legally, at least for me, not that much, unless that person is a risk. The reality is you as a parent make that decision. You need to look at this relationship and say, how stable is it? How long have we been together? And how's my child doing? And a lot of people forget that. They get caught up in the excitement of the new relationship, the romance, you know, it's all very exciting. But you need to slow down and say, hang on, has my kid grieved that separation? How are they coping? And are they going to be able to have someone new come into their life? And will that just be, you know, a weekly dinner to start off with, a casual interaction, or am I moving this person in and life is really changing?
I know that you have since repartnered. In those initial days, while not required, did you feel that, and did you run it, quote unquote, run it by your ex before you introduced your son?
Yeah, and that's a really good question. When I first met, obviously not. That relationship took for a little while. Things were maybe a little bit rushed because I ended up having a daughter who's beautiful, who's now 1. And at first we were having discussions, thank you, about do we move in together now? And that's going to be difficult for my son in itself because he was, I think, 3 at the time, 3.5. And we said, how's he going to go moving into a new home? And he's got this new figure, parental figure perhaps within that home. And how do we blur those boundaries? Am I the person who does the discipline? Is my new partner? How do we get on the same page so that there's not that confusion within the home? So I did end up having the conversation with my son's dad, my ex, and I said, look, this is what I'm thinking about. This is the period in which we're looking to do it. And I didn't have to do that, but I felt I owed him that because it's a big shift and change for him too. And the reality is, he may not care, or he may say, I don't even want to meet this person, or maybe he does, we don't know, but he's going to have to deal with the repercussions of how my son deals with it. So if it all went smoothly, great, but if it wasn't, he was dealing with that at his house too.
Right. So how do you, because you have been 2 parents under the same roof for a long time. He is used to chiming in on everything, and now that's not the case anymore. What boundaries do you need to set up with your ex?
Yeah, I think again, For us, it's weekly communication. So I agree, especially when you've got a school-age child, there are things that are going to come up quite frequently, whether it's discipline, how things are going at school, and all of a sudden you've got three parents or maybe four, and it's how do you all sort of get on that page and make it consistent for your child so they know that all my parents are working together and it's the same rules, because a lot of problems happen when it's different rules in different houses and kids start playing their parents off against one another.
Exactly.
So for
Yeah.
us, it was really keeping him informed. Obviously, we do things how we want to do things in our house, and that's up to us. But anything that might impact him or that will carry between homes. So if my son's being a little bit naughty or silly, I always tend to, if it's a bit more serious, let his dad know and just say, look, the last couple of days, these are the issues we faced. You deal with it obviously how you want to in terms of how you discipline the rules in your house. But we try and do that so it's not, oh, mum's been angry at me for a couple of days for being silly. I'm going to go to dad's now and he's going to buy me toys or lollies or whatever. So again, communication is huge.
Is that incredibly difficult though? Because, what if you just don't agree on what's
and
best
if you
for the
don't get
child?
on, that's going to happen a lot. It still happens to me too. At the end of the day, I guess if you're at a standpoint, you will give your view. And if you continue to have different views, then when you're in your home, you do things your way. And when your child is with their other parent, they're completely entitled to do things their way. And that's not going to, completely negatively impact a child. They will get used to and will have to learn to be able to live within two homes with some different rules. Okay, too. It's about how you go about it, not competing with that other parent, not saying my way is better and really instilling that in your child, but respecting my ex or my co-parent does things differently and I'll still encourage that. So trying your best to say, go to dad's and do things his way there. And when you come home, these are the way, these are our rules.
A very important part of the conversation is how do you take care of you? And we're going to tackle that question right after this quick break.
Even the mighty might not see it coming. It's prediabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. But you can escape. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test to know where you stand and prevent diabetes. Be your own hero on smartphones everywhere at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Elmer loves to giggle. Elmer's mommy taught him that laughing can help when you have a big feeling, like when you feel happy. Make sure to love your mind.
Life's daily battles are not meant to be fought alone.
Cloud, you okay?
Because checking in on a friend can create a safe space. Reach out to a friend about their mental health. Seize the awkward. It's totally worth it.
Be right there. Wait. Drown, stir, drown, feel. Then make sure it's cool.
Where'd you learn that?
SmokeyBear.com. Brushed up on some tips before we left. Don't want to start a wildfire, right?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Keep yourself in mind if you are separating and are now having to co-parent a child. Yes, as we have discussed, children come first. And in the early days, it's going to be all about the child, rightfully so. But you have to heal from this as well. And Gabriella Pomari knows firsthand what that's like and has written a book where she has put a lot of information to help you do that. How did you do that, Gabriella?
With time. I think I really needed to let myself grieve that old life, grieve what I thought, I was getting myself into, the beautiful family photos, the holidays, and then when you're in a relationship or a marriage, in-laws and sisters and brothers and cousins and friends. And it takes a long time to take yourself away from that and say, I've got a new life now. But you need to put yourself on that journey and you need to heal. So as important as your child is and doing fun things for them and keeping their life stable, what makes you happy? Is it meditation? Is it yoga? Is it a new art class? For me, it was writing. So I was always a little bit creative. And I said, I want to throw myself into something that makes me happy because life is about me too. And, I need to keep my full. Otherwise, what do I do when my son goes to his dad's house? So it was getting out there, it was spending time with friends, it was being able to chat with friends and family about what was going on and being really open with them when I was hurting, telling them why I was hurting, when I was struggling with something that we were disagreeing about, or I was worried about my son's future. It was really being able to engage with someone. And I think a lot of people shy away from external services, therapy, counseling. Go for it. It's so important. You shouldn't shy away from those services. You need someone to be able to help you grieve and help you emotionally process what's going on. Because until you do that and you truly process and you truly start healing, at least, because it's a long journey, I don't think you'll be your best version of parent or co-parent. You really need to work on yourself first.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. In helping yourself, you're also
Mm.
helping your child. Exactly.
Yeah, and your child sees that. Take it from me. They can see a parent who's happier. They see your days when you're hurting, and they often try and I know my son, if he sees me down, Mummy, do you want a hug? Mummy, can we lie in bed and cuddle this morning? They know they're so in tune with their parents' emotions. So heal and be open to that.
Before we go, since we are in the midst of holiday season, do you have any advice? Because I imagine that this time of year, everything that we have talked about becomes just a little bit harder, yes?
Absolutely. Because again, emotion, it's so hard. I think be flexible. It is important to keep tradition. Remember, those traditions will change. You will have to shift the way you used to do things and be open to that. So a lot of parents alternate. As I was saying before, you may not get Christmas lunch with your child this year. That's okay. Most children don't even know the date. So whether you celebrate Christmas on Christmas Day or on the 23rd, who cares? Put your
Yeah.
tree up, do the decorations, put the music on, do the big lunch. That's what they'll remember, the memories with their parent, not the date.
I love that. I always remember the speech in Mrs. Doubtfire at the end.
Yes.
It was so
Oh,
precious. I love
yeah,
that
yeah,
movie. I have loved our
yeah.
conversation as well. Thank you so much. How long is the book? It seems like a very big book.
No, it's actually quite a small book. It's
Oh,
short on purpose because I want people to be able to pick it up and actually finish it. There are too many books we all pick up to read, and you get halfway
oh,
and you say, "I'm done now." So it's
okay.
it's not overly long. It's about 180 pages. So I think you can get it done in a couple of hours over the Christmas break. And I
Perfect.
hope you do learn something from it.
Thank you. Well, I've certainly learned a lot today. Thank you again for taking the time, Gabriella Pomari, and thank you all for listening and watching Maggie and the Moms. Happy holidays.
is over, but the hunt for a motive is just beginning. Police finding the suspect in the Brown University shooting dead and tying him to the